we thought we'd have a mini series on what to do into the storm. What are you doing in the storm? How are you handling it? What's the handles? What's the tangible? All those things, because storms come out of nowhere. Some we create, some somebody else creates. There's all those things. And so here today, we're going to unpack those things. Buffalo are the only animals on this planet that in a snowstorm for sure, or storm in general, they turn, face it, and walk through it. They do not sit still. I understand storms. 47 years old, I've gone through some things. Holly, 45 years old, gone through some things. We've faced darkness again and again in our lives. Oh my goodness, a little vintagey, modern twist to something. That's called the doxology, everybody. My name is Scott Mendenhall. Thank you for joining us. You have found the perfect place to be encouraged if you're going through something, because we all are. You're either in the middle of it, about to, or just coming out of. So, we're trying to help you right where you are. I'm joined with my wife, who is in all yellow today, because it's Minnesota Viking game day.
Skol Vikings. Hi, everybody.
This drops live on Sunday. And so we're gathering together to talk about something that we love the thought of, which we're calling Into the Storm. We've done this once before, but because Paul in last week set up a great conversation of Into the Storm and people were loving it and want more information on it, we thought we'd have a mini series on what to do into the storm. What are you doing in the storm? How are you handling it? What's the handles? What's the tangible? All those things, because storms come out of nowhere. Some we create, somebody else creates. There's all those things. And so here today, we're going to unpack those things. We have a great image, and a lot of people are saying, what is this image of? So let's play a little game. Hop in the chat right there. What do you think this is a picture of?
The Titanic.
Yeah, you keep saying the Titanic. I've heard a lot of people think there's something under the water, but I think once I say it,
like the bottom half of
you'll get it. Okay. The new series, as I've already said, is Into the Storm, how to handle the storms of life according to the Bible, a teaching series at Unlock Church. So tell all your friends, tell all your neighbors they should be watching this. That is a picture of the American buffalo or bison, everybody. Ooh. Now that you know that, you should take a look again. You'll see the horns, and it's walking into the storm.
Not just any storm. That is a winter storm.
That's a winter storm. Yeah. I mean, it just looks impressive. Whoever captured this picture, because it's a real picture, well done. Kudos to you. You were at the right place at the right time to nail that. And we're going to try to take what I have learned from the American buffalo and make it applicable to us as humans, because how many know the authors in the Bible talk about, look at the animals and how they do. They're not worried about certain things. Jesus makes references to birds. The psalmist says, as the deer panteth. That's the King James version, right? So we can look at nature and learn things. And when you look at a buffalo, we got some footage that has been captured of the American bison, buffalo, in a storm. And one of the things that is so cool about these buffalo is that they are the only, once I can check the snowflake, bam, right in the eye. I don't know if you caught it. You should rewind it and see. Then he blinks all in slow-mo. Buffalo are the only animals on this planet that in a snowstorm for sure, or storm in general, they turn, face it, and walk through it. They do not sit still. They do not wait for it to pass. They do not hunker down. They do not try to outrun it. They turn into it, and they hit it face first. And they're built for it. The way their fur is really thick on the chest and protecting their heart and lungs of vital organs. And then back towards their tail, there is less fur there, so they don't overheat as they have to plow with that massive head of theirs, the snow out of the way, to walk in feet of snow. It's impressive. Pay attention to the way the wind's blowing here. They're walking straight into it. They're not waiting for the snow to pass. And that's what we want to learn today, how to go into the storm. What do the authors of the Bible say? How to go into the storm, how to come out of the storm better than you came into the storm. And I understand it can be easy from this side of the camera to say some of these things. Oh, it's so easy for you to say turn in the storm. You're not going against mine. I understand storms. 47 years old, I've gone through some things. Holly, 45 years old, gone through some things. We've faced darkness again and again in our lives, and we've walked through them, not always unscathed, not always successful, but we've learned some things, and we always try to go to, what does the Bible have to say on it? What does Jesus teach on it? And so it really, when you come to the storms in life, the question is, are you reacting or responding? Those are the questions that you need to ask, because sometimes we complicate our storms. How many know that you make your storm worse than it was oftentimes if you react to it? How many have ever had a storm and then you lose your temper around other people that had nothing to do with the storm, and now you're making bigger storms? More storms are popping up because of the storm at home. It influences your work, and now your work's falling, right? We've got to be able to learn how to respond instead of react. And AI, a great little tool at times, can even give you some verses about, okay, is that really biblical that I should respond and not react? Holly already pulled some up. You got that over there, Hal?
I do.
Okay, let's read a few of those. Put it on the screen, historic and icon. Here we go.
This is Proverbs 15:1. A gentle answer turns away anger, but a harsh word stirs up wrath.
A gentle answer, that's a calculated response. It's taking a second to think about what you're going to say. Turns away. It doesn't make it explode. Did you have another one? Because you spoke as if you did.
Well, in Proverbs 16:32, this is in the NIV.
But we don't have it up on that one.
I can pull it up here real quick. It says...
Do it real quick. We'll come back to you. Because if we can do it, why wouldn't we do it?
Yeah. I just was looking at multiple at the same time.
Oh, so. Multitasking. Everybody stay out the way.
Okay, this one, it's Proverbs 16:32, and it says, patience is better than power, and controlling one's emotion than capturing a city.
You said emotions there. People don't like that. They think that we should be able to
They don't like controlling
their emotions. They want to be led by their emotions, which are dangerous,
especially conversation about
especially in a storm. If you thinking your emotion is going to lead you out of the storm, they're going to take you deeper into the storm. The emotions are going to paralyze you. Most of the time, emotions don't inform us what direction to move. It paralyzes us because we start to feel sorry for ourselves. And that's one thing I've never noticed as I watch nature. I've never seen an animal feel sorry for itself because of the plight it's going against. It just gets busy trying to get out of it. And sometimes we do get busy trying to get out of it, and we complicate our own lives because we don't do the right thing. So we're going to try to go to, what does Jesus say about storms? How do we get out of these things? And today I'm really going to jack with your theology, because I think a lot of people, the story we're going to use today, one of our key stories that you've grown up in the church probably and know, so it's not going to be anything new, but there's a line in there that just messes with everybody's theology. And it's going to jack you up because you're going to wish it wasn't there. You wish it wasn't the case, but it's the case. We like what Paul said a couple weeks ago, and if you didn't watch it, it was last week, right before this one. But it was something about Storms of Life, if you're looking for the title. But we now I lost train of thought as I was saying, going backwards. What was I saying there?
You were talking about this debunking the theology, like.
This is going to ruin your theology in some things. Though what Paul said, Jesus is in the boat right there with you, and we like that, and that's comforting at times. But then we look around going, but how about when it really all falls apart and like humans are doing something to me? Is Jesus still in the boat? Because that was nature related. We're coming to when people create storms in your life. Your collateral damage is somebody else's stuff. And so, but before we get that, we got some cool news that, like pop culture news, that pulls right into one of our upcoming events. We got a lot of cool things that are happening here at Unlock Church. So digitally, you can jump in where you can. We follow a guy by the name of Travis Hunter, formerly played for what college team, Holly?
Colorado Buffalo.
Yep, there it is.
Deion
again.
Sanders.
Buffaloes again. Deion Sanders is the coach. Deion Sanders is a big Christ follower.
Timely.
Yeah, I'm glad you're catching it, as this is the second time we recorded this, everyone. True fact, and she didn't catch it the first time. I was a little surprised.
I did.
I was a little taken back by that. But Deion Sanders, big-time follower of Jesus, preaches to his team. Travis Hunter, at some stage in his life, became a follower of Jesus, yet to be baptized. And then there was a rumor flying around that on a game day, because now he plays for who, Holly?
The Jaguars.
Holly's on fire today, and he plays. He's a little bit of an anomaly in the NFL. I know you're not perhaps not an NFL fan, but
so we'll
to give you some background,
a little bit of
information. He's unique, an anomaly in the NFL because he plays offense and defense. The last player to do that was Deion Sanders. And so he got drafted as a wide receiver and a cornerback. So even though the team's not doing spectacular, they're doing pretty good, but they're all the eyes on the team because they want to see what this young kid, a rookie, Travis Hunter, would be doing. And so on a given game day, rumors flew that he got baptized. And so it began a conversation of reporters trying to get to the bottom of that, which sets up, we have a baptism coming here. We're really excited about announcing that is next month, November 16th. All right. November 16th, 2025. We want to be able to participate in your baptism and baptisms here locally in Minnesota. If you would like to get baptized and you've never been baptized, here's the number. Text, I want to get dunked at 651-276-8797. That was 651-276-8797. I want to get dunked is what you're texting, and we'll respond and make sure we help you get baptized. Here's why it's a big deal. This is not something about you getting into heaven if you're baptized or not. Some might say that it is, and others wouldn't. I'm not here to argue that. This is about you being obedient to Jesus. If you haven't been baptized, dunked underwater, baptized, if you've not, and you think you're going to walk through storms and be obedient to how Jesus tells you to handle the storms of life, you got to be joking. Because right now you haven't been baptized. When Jesus says, get baptized. And some people go, well, let me pray about it. This is not a prayer thing. This is a do thing. Jesus says, I do. You don't need to pray. Jesus, is it okay if I lie right now? No. Jesus says, don't lie, right? Don't pray about this. You have an opportunity to get baptized. We're saying get dunked. We'll do it here locally on the 16th. And wherever you are, we know there are heaps of people watching all over the place. Wherever you're from, you text us. We'll walk through making sure we figure out how to get you baptized. If that's some of us fly in to do it, we find a local church. We will help you get baptized. We will make it happen because we know it's such an important part of your God journey. Okay? This is the best way I explain being baptized, is putting on the God jersey. It says what team you play on. It says Jesus is my personal Lord and Savior. He's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He is the King of my life. He sits on the throne of my life. I am not going to be perfect, but I'm aiming to be like Jesus. It tells the world that story. It will give you a boldness. And I'm just telling you, there's something supernatural that happens when you get baptized. That's why in the picture, let's put the picture back up there. I know there are 3 little pictures. Look at the smiles of these people's faces, the baptism one, if we can. They're all smiles. No one's crying. They're listening. I'm excited. Although it's just exciting in a spiritual moment to be taking place. So don't miss your opportunity to be baptized here at Unlock Church. Text the church phone number, 651-276-8797. I want to get dunked, and we will make sure it happens.
Let's go.
Now, back to this Travis Hunter story. In the last couple of weeks, reporters finally got to him, and they began to ask questions. I saw first this on Instagram before I saw the video interview. Jaguar star Travis Hunter reported to reporters who asked him why he got baptized before the game. It's a crazy question. Why did I get baptized? It's Sunday. It's God Day, and I've been planning to get baptized for a minute. I wanted to change the direction of my life and become a better man. Wonderful. Now, here's the actual video footage of that. Listen to him, and listen to the tone of his voice.
Did you get baptized this morning?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
It's a crazy question. Why did I get baptized?
Why did you choose to go to the church this morning?
Sunday. It's God's day, and I've been planning to get baptized for a minute. I want to change my life over, become a better man.
What does it mean to you?
It means a lot. Becoming a better man, leaving my old flesh, and just becoming a new Travis.
I love what he says when he goes, what it means everything to me. He's really, he doesn't get preachy. I think he knows his audience. He doesn't get preachy, but he does sit there and go, it means everything to me. My old self is gone and I'm a new me. Yeah. That's what it's representing. You're leaving behind your old lifestyle, your insecurities and all those things, and how you handle storms, and coming out saying, nope, Jesus is Lord. I'm going to trust him. Awesome. I'm going to work on not being afraid. So, Travis Hunter, I don't know you, but that's exciting, and we applaud your decision.
Yeah, well done.
And way to handle and be respectful when it sounds like she
was kind of
coming at you.
What'd you do that for?
Yeah, what are you thinking, man? What's wrong with you? Another cool opportunity, another see and need opportunity here at Unlock Church. A lot of you know the Quas families. They watch online. They are from close to the Brainerd area in Minnesota. That's about 2 hours north from here, around Camp Ripley, where one of our local guys here, Jordan Arnold, goes to train for the Army once a month. So we're familiar with that area very, very well. But earlier this year, Jacob had a tree fall on his leg and crush his leg from the knee down. Still healing. He still needs a lot of prayer and a lot of success in his muscle repairing. Well, it's Minnesota. Winter's approaching. They heat their house by fire, and we think we should help them. We want to come up on their property and help them get for winter since he's still on crutches. And this can be a great way to serve a great family that has served a lot of us locally here and the One Wheel community in a way to give back to them. So we're going to smash two things together. We're going to do a fall festival, a fall fest with See Need, Meet a Need. And here's how digitally you can come in and play. We'll tell you that in a second. But it's November 1st at 10:30 a.m. It's a 2-hour drive from the Twin Cities. Fort Ripley, the Quas Party, they have one-wheel trails. They have a lot of woods to play capture the flag in. All kinds of fun fall games will be happening up there. They also have a lot of things that need to be done to help them get ready for winter. And so we want to have fun and party together, eat some chili, and See Need, Meet a Need by helping them get their firewood stacked close to the house so all winter they can heat their home. Maybe you're digitally going, how can I help with a See Need, Meet a Need? We make this very, very simple. Maybe you can't be there. Maybe you want to continue to, you're like, I don't know how to meet needs and see needs. You can financially partner with Unlock Church in weekly see needs and meet needs, digitally, globally, and locally. And we use the generosity of our people here at Unlock Church to do it. When somebody is having troubles with their bills, we'll step in. Somebody we don't even know calls, hey, I got kicked out of my house. We don't ask questions. Why? We get them into a hotel, make sure they're safe, ask them questions, preach the good news to them, and then we are constantly seeing meeting needs. So you can do this by a simple act of generosity. You can also give your tithes and offering the same place. So if you want to do that, you can do this just this simple. Here it is. Here's the number. You're going to get out your smartphone. You're going to text the number 77977, the word unlock in the 2 and hit send, and you'll get a reply back, and it will give you steps on how to give. When you get to the giving portion, it will ask you what category or something of that nature. You're going to go general if it's your tithes, or offering that just hits the general budget of Unlock Church. You will also then see a need, meet a need is where it hits, and that's where we use to continue to see needs and meet needs across the digital platform, global platform, and local. So if you're like, I want to help the Quas family or other people and these things, great. That's great. You can do a see a need, meet a need, and we will make sure that, because here's how I understand how this will work. It's a drive. Some families are going to go, I can't afford the gas. So you know what we'll do with the see need? Hey, we will give you gas money to get you up there because we need hands and feet up there moving stuff. So if you want to participate in that, or always you can, there you go. Thank you for everybody's generosity. Awesome. Those that are giving. Again, we had a special gift a couple weeks ago. Somebody saying, hey, I want that parenting app, and we're in meeting. It just happened this week. Yeah. We got finally... we were queued up to be in a meeting with them. It is on the move, everybody. So look in the new year for that. Okay. So much more to talk about. I'm sure we have other upcoming events. Let me just check. Today I have a set list that I make sure I'm giving you all the if you're local and you also want to know what's going on, we have 2 costume parties that you can be. Students have a costume party on the 26th. I think it is. Here it is. The dates are on here. The 29th, everyone. Sorry.
Students is 29th. That's
winner of the costume contest gets a pizza party for all their friends.
What?
Okay, that'll be exciting. Bring friends the next week from your school, and you can feed them a feast, which is appropriate for the Thanksgiving feast.
Yes, kicking the Thanksgiving season off.
Locally, also, we have a costume competition for
the kids,
which is the following Sunday.
No, that's the
Sunday
26th.
First. There you go.
Yeah, 26th.
Unlock Kids and Littles. Now, we also have a digital costume party. This is how it works for all of you. If you dress up the week of the 26th to Halloween, take a picture of you dressed up, text it to the church phone number. We'll put it on the screen once again. and you can enter in. We have a panel of judges that are going to judge your competition or your costumes, and we're going to give a gift card for the winner to a Visa gift card of $25, everybody. So it's not going to break the bank for anybody. Can we get do we got the church phone number icon? Let's slap that up there. 651-276-8797.
So they need to take through the week of Halloween.
They get a longer time.
Yeah. You're welcome. You take your picture, send it into the church phone. The panel's going to judge it.
Yep.
You're announcing the winner on
that following
November
Sunday,
2nd.
November 2nd, we will announce the winner for your digital costume party. All right. So everybody gets one.
How many entries we get in?
Yeah. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Come on, think of some good ones. This could be fun.
Think.
Let's go.
Okay. So now let's transition into the thought of the day, into the storm. To do that, we're going to get you, because again, this is an understood thing, I think, but we're going to get you to, you probably heard this quoted so many times, cast your cares on. We got a great video that unpacks this idea, and then we're going to be right back to really start episode 1 of Into the Storm, everybody. Check this video out. We'll be right back.
Life can be heavy. A burden which at times seems unbearable. It's easy to find ourselves overwhelmed, weighed down, or even crushed. Often these struggles come and go, a nuisance, an annoyance. Yet sometimes they grab a hold, gripping every aspect of our lives, pulling us down, consuming our hope. It's hard to breathe under the weight of our anxieties. It's difficult to move forward when we're anchored to our worries. But God loves us too much to let us stay this way. He wants to replace our anxiety with hope, our fear with courage, our worries with peace, and our burdens with freedom. In moments when life begins to weigh you down, remember this one simple truth. We serve a faithful God, a God who's offered to carry our burdens and asks us to cast all our cares on Him.
1 Peter 5:7 is where you can find cast all of your cares. Cast them, get them away from you. Casting, if you are a fisher person, you understand the casting is throwing it away from you. Now, horrible illustration because when you fish, Holly, you bring it back in. But this is not the case. You're casting away, throw it away out of your reach on God. Like, okay, God, I'm going through something. And then you keep moving throughout the day, not led by our feelings and emotions. They can inform us that things are going bad, but not led by them. I want to always come back to because those things can get us derailed so fast. Now, we're going to start in an interesting place, Holly, and we read these a couple weeks ago, but there's one that I want to bring out and kind of focus on is the setup into the storm. And the question is, how, and this is probably a churchy way to ask about, how hungry and thirsty are you for God? Like, answer this question for you. Like, we live in a culture right now that hydration is the thing. Like, right off camera, I have my water bottle. If I got to have like at least 4 of these a day in order to feel remotely close to being hydrated. Now, today, I drank 3 of these before I got into the office, and the problem was not enough food, too much fluids, and then I'm going to the bathroom all day. Too much information, but I understand when you're trying to stay hydrated, sometimes that happens. There is a statistic out there, and I think all statistics are pretty much made up on the spot, but I heard it the other day. 73% of Americans are dehydrated. Well, let's just round that up to 75% because that's easy math. You look in the room, look at 75%. There's 4 of us in this room, so that means 3 of us are dehydrated in the room and 1 is hydrated. It's crazy if that's a real stat. That means a lot of people are miserable.
Yeah.
Right? Because dehydration leads to so many complications like headaches, body aches, your joints don't have the right amount of fluid there to keep them from rubbing. The number one thing you can do for your body, your entire system, from skeleton to nervous system, is drink water. Like, I'm telling you, how many of you, seriously, have had 3 glasses of water today? Water only. I'm not talking about coffee. Holly, how many? Just water.
1.
1. Not even a full glass, like one full glass?
No, like half of my bottle. Like
half of my bottle?
Which is, I think, 24.
Boulder Dash.
No, I did this
Boulder
morning.
Dash or Balderdash?
Balderdash.
Balderdash.
I've been trying to get water is not my... Coffee is my strong suit.
Not considered. That's actually the opposite. That dehydrates you.
Well, the caffeine will, yes.
Okay.
But I had half my bottle.
Put in the chat how many cups of water you've had at the moment. Be honest. We're not counting coffee.
Honest.
Icon Historic, who are working the tech table, what do you say? How many cups of water have you had today? I got one. You just took your first sip of water? My point exactly. And we're filming this. It is 1:25 p.m., everyone. I'm just saying. That's awful. And then she's going to go to cross-country practice.
So really, the new idea of looking like you're hydrated is having a cool water bottle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. On Sunday morning when I'm teaching, I know that people are walking around with water bottles. I hear them fall all the time. Clanking.
True.
Stanley cups or whatever the latest thing is.
But
you hear
who's really using
And now here's what's happening. Everybody at home, they
just went to get their water.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all getting drinks right now because they're like, wait, 75%, 73% people are dehydrated physically.
Yeah.
They go on to...
I don't know if that's an outrageous...
I think it's pretty true. I mean, we just went around the room here. You guys have all, at 1:30, had a cup of water. The first thing I do every morning,
You're good about this.
I pour a full bottle of water and I down it. I just guzzle the whole thing. Yeah. It is 21 ounces of water. Because I know that's
before you make anything. So that's what I was trying to do today. Before my coffee, I'm going to drink this water and then
I stand at the sink and just pound it. Because you just had 8 hours.
You're good at that.
Or less of no water. And so it's like, nope, I want to feel good today. No headaches. There's your hack for today. One hack physically to get through the storm. Make sure you're really, really hydrated. Okay, now, here's a question, okay? How many of you... how many of you have read your Bible this week more than just quote of the day?
More than just the quote of the day?
Just the quote of the day. Like how many? Because here's where I'm getting. We're going to go to Matthew chapter 5. These are the Beatitudes. This is what so many people call this. We read it a couple weeks ago. This is where Jesus is preaching a teaching that he probably taught every city. It was the same thing over and over to teach and get a movement. So we're going to go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. We will have it on the screen for all of you to follow along because this is where Jesus' blessed are. And I love reading these. These are, some of you are going to just need to read this and you're going to have to pause and go, in the storm, I've been struggling with this. So here we go. Let's just read through it really quick. Put the verses on the screen. Blessed is the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for the righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Now, you got to ask, how to make heads or tails of this? This is not a teaching on the Sermon on the Mount. This is not a teaching on the Beatitudes, but enough for you to go, there are 4 ways to understand this, okay? 4 ways for you to process what we just read. Some of you, it's a great reminder because I forget those all the time. We're going to hone in on one of those today. But here we go. One of the 4 ways to understand the Beatitudes is this. They are a code of ethics and a standard of conduct for all behavior, for all believers on how to behave, how to treat other people. So which one are you struggling with? We'll read them here and again after we ask these questions. 2, they contrast the kingdom values, what is eternal, with worldly values, what is temporary. It's a contrast. So when you read it, you can see opposing things. They contrast the superficial faith of the Pharisees and the real faith that Jesus demands. And the 4th one is they show how Old Testament expectations will be fulfilled in the new kingdom. The Beatitudes are not multiple choice, in case you thought they were. as if you could choose and pick which ones you want to leave out. Because when we're going to go and pick on today, it's a toughie. They are to be taken as whole. Jesus perfectly played them out. He amplified them all the way through his life. And when we say we're trying to be like Christ, we're trying to do this as best we can. So let's read them one more time. Now that you have those 4 things, here we go. Blessed is the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for the righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. I want to go to this one. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Can we put that up there? I think that's verse 6, everybody.
6. Verse
6 historic. Put that up there so everyone can read it. This is the one we're going to focus on. We talked about it last week. It's a good one. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Do you have an appetite for Jesus? Do you crave, long for a relationship for Jesus? Because if the answer is no, you have starved that appetite out enough that it has disappeared. Blessed are, happy are those that hunger. I long for, I want. David writes, can you look up the Psalms that as a deer pants for, right? What is that a play on? It's showing that as a deer longs to get water, I long for spiritually to be with my heavenly Father. Can that be said of you? Score yourself. As I asked you earlier, how are you doing on your hydration? Are you doing well? How are you doing in your hunger and thirsting to be like Jesus? Because that is the question. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Your appetite will be filled. You will get what you want when you seek first the kingdom of heaven. So what do we do what's the first thing we do in a storm? We turn into the storm and we head straight for Jesus' will. We straight head for, God, I need you. We ask these simple questions when storms brew in our lives. God, what are you up to? God, what are you up to in my life? I know some of this is review. Some of this you've heard us say here today, but it's worth being said again. There is a large amount of people at Unlock Church right now going through some stuff, going through things that no one would sign up for. And as your pastor, as your friend, if I could tell you one thing, don't forget Jesus. Don't forget his attributes. Don't forget these qualities, the Beatitudes. Did we find it? It's Psalms what?
Yes, it is Psalms 42:1.
Let's put it on the screen really quick.
As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you, my God.
Boom. It is a depiction of how bad that individual wants to be with God. Is that true for you, or do you just want the storm to be done more? Because if it's just about, okay, I'm going to do this to get the storm done, then you're missing something great. Because oftentimes God allows storms in our lives to reveal things to work on or to show us our faith. James says, can you look up in James where he says trials and tribulations, you consider it joy. And we're, again, review, but it's a good refresher reminder for us that when we're up against it, our back's up against the wall, there's a health concern. And I'm preaching to myself. I got to remind myself when I go through storms and all of these, that these are true scriptures that I need to sink my claws into and never let go and not let my eyes get distracted by the storm. James chapter 1, is it?
It's 1. right at verse 2. It's the very first part.
Here we go. Let's put this one on the screen. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever facing trials, storms of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything. If you lack wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt. Okay, continues to turn. But guys, when we go through storms, it's testing the quality of your faith. My faith. It's a litmus test of like, are you actually living what you preach to everybody else? Are you going to do everything you said to everybody else? Now you're going, well, what a loving God would do this? But a loving God is trying to grow things in us all the time. And guys, that sometimes to walk through storms make us stronger and better, increase our faith in God. So why not? Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. How hungry are you? How thirsty are you to be like Jesus? And here's how you know. If you're really hungry and thirsty to be like Jesus, you're reading your Bible more than just a quote a day from the Bible app. That happens to be a widget on your screen. You are reading, you are spending time. You can't wait to wake up early in the morning to read your Bible. You can't wait to get in your car and to listen to worship music. You can't wait. You're going to remove all obstacles. You're going to stop binging Netflix. You're going to stop binging your favorite YouTube creator, unless it's me. You're going to stop, right? You're going to stop doing those things to get alone with your creator. That's how you know if you're hungry for this. Because when you're hungry, you stop everything to get food. We got to pull over now. I'm hangry. Well, some of you are angry because you're not reading your Bible. Some of you are lost in the storm because you're not reading your Bible. You're not really that thirsty to be like God. You just want the benefits of, well, I know God, so that means, it's going to be easy, right? Which that's just a joke. You know this as a follower of Jesus. That baked into being a follower of Jesus is it gets hard. Look at Jesus, God's one and only Son. He went through and did hard.
That's right.
Sometimes parents, if I can speak to you, some of the storms we create in our parenting child-parent relationship is a lack of parenting creates the storm. Because what's happening in this moment, you didn't parent last year through it, and the storm was brewing then, and you could have squashed it because you should have got off the couch and jumped in and said, no, that attitude's not acceptable. No, I'm going to make you do some things because I know right now you don't want to, but I know it's good for you. I know it's healthy for you to. Mom and dad, re-engage with your kids. If they're pushing back on you, they're going to do that. They're young people. They're trying to power up. I mean, after all, we are all on a power quest. The reason some of us don't go to God is because we think we can do it on our own, that we got it figured out, that I'm bigger than God. We don't ever say that out loud, but that's how we behave. What are you expecting from your children? What are you expecting? Mom and dad, they watch you when you have a storm going, I just got to get alone. I'm going to do it on my own. They don't see you running to God. They don't see you going into the storm and saying, man, God's with me. He's going to get us through this. This is how. No, what they have seen is you trying to do it on your own, and they haven't seen you hunger and thirst for righteousness. Show them what that looks like. Loan them your strength. They don't want to go to church anymore. Make them go to church. Mm-hmm. I get it. There's all kind of, that might make them hate the church, but it also they might hear something there that Jesus convicts their heart. Mm-hmm. They might be sitting in there, and the thing that you've been trying to parent out, this is you partnering with God and God partnering with you in your parenting, making your child go to church. I promise you, all children, their job is to say, no, I don't want to do all the things you want them to do. I mean, let's be honest. We have a video of this when we started vlogging years ago. Remember when Greatness didn't want to eat peas?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not doing it. He threw a fit.
Yeah.
All of our kids, I think it's just the territory of raising kids. They don't want to eat vegetables because what do we sell it as? Hey, this is really good for you. Make sure you have good eyesight. Eat more carrots. You'll see better, right? All these things. We sell it as good.
Right.
Kids power up going, I don't want that.
Yeah.
You say it's good I'll determine what's good for me. And for whatever reason, they power up on not eating the things that we say they should eat. But you know what? Holly and I called her mom. We know that eating peas are good for them. To eat vegetables, well-balanced diet is good for them. So you know what we did? We sat there.
And you know what's worse than peas?
Cold peas.
Cold
vegetables, unless it's like meant to be cold. Like cooked, let's just put it this way. Cooked vegetables, cold, are awful. Just awful. I love cooked cauliflower, but the minute it gets cold, no way. If it's just raw cauliflower, not cooked, wonderful, tasty. But the minute it's cooked, it's got to be eaten, consumed hot.
Right then, off the grill. That's how you like it.
That's how I like it. But I mean, you can go watch the video footage. It was hours. I sat there. I told greatness. I've told it all my kids. Listen, I love running far distances. I have built my life on endurance. I'm going to out-endure you here. You think you're going to win. I'm going to win. And it was 3 hours of us sitting there, and they got colder and colder, and you can see the peas shriveling up. I was like, great, so you're going to eat these. And eventually, you know what? He ate them. You know what he does today? He eats his vegetables first thing when they're hot, slams them down. The other night, I gave him a bowl of cooked cauliflower as like a treat, and he just devoured it. Yeah. That was not because he grew up naturally liking it. It was because I have stuck with it. And it was painful. It wasn't enjoyable. I had other things I wanted to do. But I wanted my young people, my kids, to understand this is what is good for you. I understand you don't want it because parents, this is what happens. I don't want the fight, so fine. I'll let you figure it out. But what happens is it's a snowballing effect, is that when we let them short circuit what's good and healthy for them physically, emotionally, spiritually, when we let them short circuit it because we don't want to have fight or anything, you actually are doing them harm in the long term. And some of you are hearing me going, I know that now. I wish I would have listened to mom and dad. Do the hard work. You're the only parent they got. You are going to have to do the hard work to parent the selfishness out of your children. And yes, that means you're going to have some fights sometimes. Sometimes those fights are because we didn't parent the bad attitude out of them a year ago. I hope this is making sense. I hope those that are around that have newborns, and parent, engage in parenting. Get your butt off the couch. You cannot parent well from yelling from the couch. It's not done right. That's not how it's done. Engage in their lives, because some of the storms that we create with our kids is our lack of parenting. I don't want to fight. I don't want an argument. I don't want them to hate me. Guys, they don't hate you, especially parents. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to what Jesus said a moment ago in the Beatitudes. Blessed are those who insult you and persecute you and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. When you're teaching your children Jesus principles and they push back on wanting to go to church, push back on wanting to read their Bible, push back, and they insult you and call you all kinds of names, Jesus has said, blessed are those that do that. Mom and dad, do the hard work. Push them towards Jesus. Tell them about Jesus. Preach the gospel. Tell them when they missed it. When they hate you for it, it's because of Jesus, not you.
That's good.
I don't even know if I'm going to remember to say that on Sunday. That's in the moment. That's good. And don't go, well, I just qualified myself on what I did before. That is dumb. Sorry. That's the enemy disqualifying you. No, what you've become more qualified because of those things. You have learned as an adult, oh yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. That just makes a storm in your life and it's hard to get out of. I created that storm. I wish I would have treated that person. I wish I wouldn't have been so nasty to that person. I wish you can teach those things. It isn't, oh, well, because I didn't do it right 5 years ago. Now my kids can't do. You know what? Your kids are going to leverage your shortcomings all the time. And that's wrong.
That's what people do.
That's what people do. Teach them out of it. You are their parents. Even with the past you had, you are their parents. God's not going to go, hey, you got a free pass on parenting because you're past. I gave you an out. No, because Jesus said, I forgave you. You need to forgive yourself and parent right.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
Back into it. Now, we're going to go to the Old Testament, Genesis chapter 3, verse 39. Genesis 39. We're going to get there. You can get to it in your Bible. I got to set this up. This is a story of Joseph. Joseph and his brothers. It's a tremendous story. There's plays made about it. This is not a brand new story to you. We're going to read one line and end this thing here in a second. But Joseph is his father's favorite kid. And that's part of the problem. Mom and dad, you shouldn't have a favorite kid. We have 8 I don't have a favorite. If you really want to boil it down, who's my favorite? Whoever fills my water bottle at that moment is like, you're my favorite kid. But other than that, I don't have any favorite kids. That's dangerous. Kids pick up on that, and the other kids resent you and that child for it. We see that in this story. So number one in the story of Joseph in those things, parents don't have a favorite kid. Don't even joke about it. That's not funny. That's hurtful to your children. And so in this story, Joseph's dad's favorite kid was Joseph. Joseph got a coat. The other brothers are out in the field working. They're talking about how much they hate Joseph, and they come up with a plan. And Holly, what would be that plan? Do you remember this story?
They're going to get rid of Joseph.
And
they're going to, well, they talked about killing him.
They said that wasn't good.
And that would be not nice.
Right.
So they were going to devise a plan that, like, he got taken or fallen into a hole and eaten by something.
But that's the killing portion. That's how they were going to kill him.
Yeah, and then when...
You don't remember the story? You're the children's director.
I do.
This is like the oldest story in the Bible.
But they did.
Okay,
they did
let me pick up where she is.
He was thrown into a hole.
They picked him up because they're like, oh, we don't want to kill him, so they sell him into slavery.
Oh, that's right. I missed it. Yeah, they sell him into slavery.
I roll my eyes at my wife. Sorry. Oh my goodness!
Because
you grew up in the church.
They did go put him in a hole and then got him out. And then they
were like, this is not a good plan. We don't want the blood on our hands, so let's sell him as a slave and then tell the story. Let's kill this.
Happened to him.
Kill one of these animals from our herd. Put the blood on it, and we'll tell our dad that, oh no, a lion came up and killed on him. This is what we have. And so be careful. Again, in this story. This is a little bit of the Sunday school lesson from this. Be careful to create a lie that makes you a liar for life. Because think about it, these guys had to lie every time they told a story about their brother. What happened with his brother? They had to lie every time. Be careful that you aren't developing lies in your life that you have to hold to for the rest of your life. If you're carrying a lie that you've carried your entire life, this is that intersection where God's tapping you on the story saying, it's time to let that one go because I know, not me, but God knows you're telling a lie every time, and he's saying, stop it. And for those who are listening now, don't create a scenario where you're having to tell a lie over and over because that's sinning over and over. And it shows you that you actually aren't as hungry and thirsty for righteousness as you might raise your hand and say you are because you're holding on to a lie that you created. Sunday school lesson. Over on that part. So they sell him off into slavery. He gets picked up by Potiphar as like, this guy, he looks good. He's handsome. Let's bring him into my home, my property, and we'll make him a slave. So we pick up in this story now in Genesis chapter 39, verse 1. Now Joseph, we'll put this on the screen, ladies, if we can. Now Joseph has been taken down to Egypt. Potiphar, an Egyptian, was one of Potiphar's officials. The captain of the guard brought him in front of the Ishmaelites who had taken him there. The Lord was with Joseph so that the Lord was with Joseph. Do we not have this, ladies? Is that a no-go? Can we put it up on the screen while I keep reading it? Can you put it up there? Okay, that's great. We're going to verse 2 here. The Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. I read that very slow so you can understand. And this is where a lot of people would like to take this verse out of the story because, Joseph is in now a storm that he did not create. Now, he could have helped kind of add to the problem by boasting his coat and you know how it is. I'm the favorite, I'm the best. And right, you want to poke that one in the eye, right? He helped it, but he didn't create the storm. His brothers did all kinds of wrongs. Right. They lied. They thought about murdering. They weren't good guys. Mm-hmm. They created this storm. And now in a storm that he did not create, nor do we have any idea that God created, verse 2 of chapter 39 says, the Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered. I want you to understand this. When it says he prospered, here's the other rest of the story that really would rub you wrong in your story of your storms. Is that one, your storm, God is with you. But God might not take you out of the storm. He will lead you through the storm. There are very few times where it's like, whoa, that storm just ended out of nowhere. Wow, that just like that. Oftentimes, the storms are happening because God's got a bigger story at hand, which he did have in this. And to be honest with you, Joseph goes from one storm to another storm. And you and I read this, and he's like been taken down to Egypt, and we read that like it's like just in moments. We're talking about months here. Months. And the way that they auctioned off these people in slavery is that they put them up in front of people buck naked. So you're humiliated. You're standing in front of it. You have no idea what's going to happen with your life. It's no longer in your power of what's going to happen. You were once one of the favorites, and now you are at the bottom of the barrel being auctioned off to another person to be a slave to do what? You have no idea.
You don't get a say.
You have no say at all. But what we read is the Lord is with Joseph.
Good.
I want you to understand, and this is the little part in today's lesson, is that the Lord is with you. Are you still thirsty for God in your storm? Are you saying, God, comfort me? Are you recognizing that maybe you created the storm or somebody else created the storm, or it's just a storm came out of nowhere like Paul talked about last week? So the Lord was Joseph, and he prospered, and he lived in the house of the Egyptian master. When the master saw that the Lord was with Joseph, now listen to this. This is wild, because I want you to understand, because we read he prospered, you think, oh man, Joseph got something out of this. No, when the master saw that the Lord was with him and that the Lord had given him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in the eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his whole household, and he entrusted him to his care everything he owned. From that time, he put him in charge of his household and all that he owned. The Lord blessed the house of the Egyptian because of Joseph. The blessings of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern him about anything except the food he ate. Now, Joseph was well-built and handsome and enters Potiphar's wife, and that's a whole nother story. But what I just want you to get out of that paragraph we read there, God was with Joseph. He's in a storm. He's no longer in his hometown. He no longer has the power to say what he gets to do. God was with him. He succeeded for Potiphar. Joseph wasn't getting his kingdom built here. He wasn't getting out of the storm. The storm he's in, guys, he is 17 years old around there where he is sold into slavery. By the time we get to the part where it is done for him, he's well in his 30s.
It's a long storm.
That's a long storm, everybody. We just think it's so quick because we just flip a page and it's chapter 40 now. And like, oh, that was good for him. But it's like when you watch The Lord of the Rings, right? We understand. I get one of the things that frustrate me, people are trying to shoot holes into the validity of scripture or the author, is that they go, well, it just jumps around. Things are so condensed. And it's like, okay, one, not enough paper to probably keep track of that. But no one complains about that in movies.
Right.
Every movie you watch, the story's condensed.
There's something left. Like what? Like
you don't know. Not unknown. No. Think about it.
I mean,
you watch movies that
it jumps.
It jumps, and you don't complain.
Yeah. Right.
You understand as a viewer. Oh, this is a condensed story.
They're gonna come
because
back
years have gone by. And I understand it's not part of the story. In Joseph's life, it's condensed.
It's good.
We get the highlights of his life. It's condensed. It's not made up. It's just condensed to move the story along because there is a reason the story's in the Bible for us to hunger and thirst for the understanding. And so Joseph, in his condensed story here, it fast forward years here, but he's now a slave. He doesn't get to make any decision, though it seems like he's successful and God's taking care of it, but he's not getting to live out his dreams, everybody. The storm is raging. But it says repeatedly throughout this story that the Lord was with Joseph. And because of time, and we can't go on forever, I need you to understand, when you turn and make a conscious decision, I'm going through the storm, you need to understand that the Lord is with you. He is not abandoning you. He's not leaving you for you to figure it out. He can be there with you if you so choose. You have to make the conscious effort to apply the scriptures, to cast your cares, to renew your mind, to not be led by your emotions, but be led by the Spirit of God, to come back and reread those Beatitudes over and over again. Which one am I struggling with today? Which one do I need to understand better? Because I need all of those things to get through the storms of life. The Beatitudes, these things, how we behave ethically, morally, spiritually, these are a great starting point for you to build so you have the fortitude to get through the storms. And so do your own study. If you're waiting for me to do all of your studying, then you're not hungry and thirsty. You're still a little infant waiting for somebody to feed you, spoon feed you, or that's not hunger and thirst. That's some version of, I got no time to unpack right now. But found in the storm, he found favor with what he's doing. God blessed everything he did, but who got the reward of the blessing? He was still a slave. It was Pharaoh. Everything in Pharaoh's house succeeded because of his. Guys, in your storm, what are your hands still bringing success to your boss, to your family? You can be in the storm and still things around you can prosper. You got to understand, when we adhere to Jesus' principles through our storms, things can still prosper. It's not doom and gloom and all over. Whatever you're up against, it's not over. Re-engage. May this be a kick in the pants. I'm going to turn into the storm. I'm going to stop feeling sorry for my situation. Because that's what we do by default. We feel sorry for what we are doing or going through, or this happened. It's okay for a moment, but you got to stop feeling that. You got to turn into the storm and apply the scriptures. So I want to read Psalms 107 really quick as we wrap this up. It's a tremendous verse, 107 verse 28 through 29. They cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he brought them out of their distress. He stilled the storm to a whisper. The waves of the sea were hushed. They what? Cried out to the Lord. Your response to this, how much hunger and thirst is, are you crying out to the Lord? Are you genuinely stopping to have more than a 30-second prayer, God help? Those are fine in moments, but are you starting your day going, I'm going through something, here's where I'm at, God help me? Are you feeling sorry for yourself? And are you wishing somebody else would do something for you? And so here's a big step for you. Now, we're giving you weeks to decide. And you already know you need to start praying, but as your church, we love praying around here. We have a prayer room that's set up every week. I wish it was the most well-attended thing we got at Unlock Church, but quite frankly, it's not. So I know people don't run and pray all the time. That room's not packed out, but it's available. We set it up every Sunday. I know that I should be praying more. But we as a church, we're going to give you an opportunity here digitally and locally to kind of ante up, to gauge check your hunger and thirst. We're going to rent the community center. So this is going to cost the church money to do, but this is how much we believe that this is the right move. We're going to rent the community center for 2 hours, 6 a.m. on November 11th. We have a picture for you to see. We are going to rent this. We're going to have a prayer meeting for 2 hours. 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. It's before work. Now, some of you are like, I can't make that. Well, I have a feeling you can make from 6 a.m. to 6:30. I want you to lose all your excuses here. I want you to go, I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to move everything out. Because here's the deal. You'll move everything for things you want to do. You'll take time off. Work. If the weather's right? Some of you love snow so much that you take off a day so you can go snowboarding. Some of you love doing hunting. I'm going to move my work schedule. I'm calling you out and saying, move your schedule to be there for the prayer time.
Even if it's only for a short time.
I would like you to be there the whole time. Holly's, you see, she's being kind and easy. I'm trying to say, no, don't pans out on this.
Your school, or your work, or your
Now,
hobby,
I do understand life does happen, but I would like to see you there more than 3 minutes. Pop in, pop out thing. No, come in. Come prepared. Come with a journal. I think I had a journal around like this.
That's good.
Come in with a little journal. You know why you want a journal there? I'm going to ask Holly, and she's totally going to miss this, but give it a shot.
Why do you want to journal there?
Yeah, what do you want to journal there for a prayer meeting?
Well, you might want to write down the things we're praying for.
Yep, that's great. I knew that's what you said. It's wonderful. But the real fact is, I want you to come and write down laundry. Because you know what's going to happen? You're going to sit in that prayer time.
You need to pray
and you're
for?
No. You're going to be reminded of everything you want to do. Or you got to do. Oh, I got to do laundry when I get home. Write it down so you can just get it off your mind so you can get back to you know what else you're going to write down? Everything that comes to your mind that's a distraction. Then you're going to write down all the things you need to be praying for.
That's really good. That's handy, like just in your normal day-to-day life. Because when you get distracted, if you write it down, then you can be at peace. Like, I wrote it down. I'll go back to it later.
Right. Let it go.
I thought you meant laundry and like
your to-do list.
Yeah,
it's all going to come to, no, I got to go to the dry cleaner. Does anybody do that anymore? But anyways, I got to go to the dry cleaner. I can't write it down so the enemy can't continue to distract you during your time of prayer. Because we're what? We're going to hunger and thirst for his righteousness. We want to be like him. We want to get through the storms where we don't make it worse. We want to depend on him. We want to cast our cares. So we're trying to give you more time, less excuses with more time. You now know November 11th. Now you're like digitally, you spent a lot of time about this. I live in Alaska. How am I going to do that? Here's how it's going to work for you. We're going to set up a single computer, a go-to meeting. It's going to be running. You log into the go-to meeting. You can see the prayer room. The community is saying, we're just going to turn in, we're going to have a dry erase board up there that's going to give things for people to pray about. But really, it's about you coming in and praying to God about things. We're going to periodically, in 2 hours, have a few people stand up and guide us in a couple prayers. And then it's just going to be music playing. We might have somebody come up with an acoustic guitar and sing one song. And then that'll be it. And it'll go back to prayer. It's not really a set list type of thing. It's really 2 hours, hunger and thirsting for God's righteousness. So you're going to log in and be able to participate in that. And it's just a way of saying, I'm going to log in and I'm going to sit there. You might walk around your kitchen praying, and that's okay because we're not looking at your computer. It's just you being a part of this time of prayer as a church. We're going to pray for our church, Unlock Church. We're going to pray for the families in the church. There's a lot of people going through stuff. We want to pray for them. You have stuff that you haven't made mention to us that we want to pray for. You need to be praying for. This is the time. And you're like, wow, that's a couple weeks away. You know what? You can start practicing on your own in your house. So I challenge you to do that. But your church, we're going to meet and pray as we're going to go. That's right around the budget season for Unlock Church. You can pray for your elders that we make a budget that we can hit and go through. You can pray that we end the year positive in the church budget. As the last few months, we've just the tithes and offering are lower than we projected, and so it makes things a little tight around here. And that's the way ministry is done. And so you can pray for those things as well, as we are constantly partnering with people to point them to Jesus to navigate the challenges of life. And so that's your response today. And we're going to give you steps in this. So next week, Into the Storm Part 2, we're going to give you another step. This week, it's understanding that God is with you no matter how big the storm is. Don't make your storm more complicated by reacting, but respond. We know how to respond by learning how to be like Jesus, that we're hungering and thirsting for his righteousness so that when I'm in the storm, I know how to be like Jesus. So those are your things today that you need to be adding to your bag. You need to learn these things. You need to get alone with Jesus this week. And on your calendar, November 11th, sign into the go-to meeting. We'll have a link on our website that day that'll allow you to click the link and come. If you're local, I ain't giving a pass that you get to do that. This is for our family of Unlocked Church people that are in Alaska, Florida, Washington, California, New Mexico, Illinois, right? This is for you. If you live here in Minnesota and you live within an hour of that, this is your time to get there. Holly and I live 30 plus minutes from that location. I have to be there at 5:30 to get this thing set up. So I'm leaving my house at 4:45 or something like that. Did I do the math right? Yeah. 4:45 to get there and enough time to unload this car to get this stuff set up, everybody. So your stepping in the storm is start praying. Start praying. God, teach me. May I have the eyes to see what you're up. Give me the strength to endure. And may I become more like you in this and respond and not react. Because we see Joseph all through this story, this guy, He does not react. He is responding the whole time, which was easy for God to be with him and bless everything he did. When we react, God oftentimes go, that's not my characteristic. I can't bless what you're doing. And so then we lose God with us and God through us doing some stuff. Because when we react, it's usually my kingdom come, not his will be done. So, something for us to think about and pray about. Would you close your eyes and pray? Jesus, we ask that we would be reminded that you're with us through all the storms. Some of this is a review, and we just needed to hear it, so we're not forgetting it. That those tangible things you're putting in our heart that we need to start doing, that we would take those steps and do them. God, we have a prayer list here at Unlock Church that's very long. A lot of people going through storms. May they begin to feel you in the middle of their storms, that you would strengthen them in the storm, and that you would give them wisdom on how to respond and not react in the storm. May you make it so in all of our lives. In your name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, everybody, for being with us on this fine day. I hope you got something out of it today. Drop a comment down below what you got out of it today. We'll see you next week. Holly will be here on part 2 of Into the Storm. How do we turn into the storm and we make sure that God can bless us in our storms and through us for other people? So that's the hope through this. Everybody, we love you. Have a fabulous rest of your week. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.